Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. We are excited that Ms. Wheelchair America is back again. It is coming up later in August. We are so excited for this. And once again, the Mary Free Bed Guild is proud to be presenting and being one of the sponsors here to support Ms. Wheelchair America. And to promote this awesome event, we are going to be catching up with several of the contestants in the next few weeks talking about Ms. Wheelchair America. And we are so lucky to have on the line with us, we've got Schuyler. She is Ms. Wheelchair Florida. And so where people, around the nation have been following everybody's stories, and this is just a great time to just talk about it here, is all the ladies are getting together before the competition. So Schuyler, why don't you just start us off and just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you like to do when you're not out showing the crown and sash?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I have always been wanting to share happiness with the world. So in college, I would jump on stage and I traveled to 5 out of the 7 continents. And I like vegan food. So not I like vegan food. I am vegan. So I like to explore different places around town. And I even have a page called That's How Vegans Roll, where I rate based on accessibility and vegan. And I'm from Tampa, Florida, born and raised. I have 3 diva dachshunds.
Nice.
Source and Faith, who I irrationally love so much. And then I have an older brother and an older sister, and their parents too. So I have nephews and a niece, which is good because apparently little girls are better at sitting and coloring more. So I can bond with her more. And I'm really into adventure things. I've done adaptive water skiing, adaptive surfing, adaptive yoga, dance, gymnastics. Pretty good. I'm a yes person. So if there's a will, there's a way. I will figure it out.
That is awesome. And so what made you want to get involved in the competition and run for Ms. Wheelchair Florida?
Yeah. So I am the first Ms. Wheelchair Florida with a traumatic brain injury. And as you can hear, I have a verbal disability. So most people are really eloquent and pretty normal, except they're in a wheelchair. So it was a good shining the spotlight on the fact that disability can span through more than just physical. And it showed that the competition, that determination really pays off, because I have already actually competed twice, and 3rd time's the charm.
Yeah.
Because last time I got Miss Congeniality, but this time I got both. So it just shows that, if you keep pushing for it. I wasn't eloquent or anything. I couldn't really be understood before. But I worked on it and I got better at speaking, so now you can understand me better.
That's great. That's so much about what life is about, is progress and kind of pushing through and growing too. So let's talk a little bit about that. You just mentioned you're the first contestant from Florida who's had a traumatic brain injury. Can you tell us, it's been about a decade now, I believe, since your accident, and it's a pretty wild story when you hear it. So can you share a little bit about, what happened, and at least from what you remember and how it impacted you?
Definitely. So, like I said, I've always been a happy person. My middle name literally means happiness in Japanese.
Mm.
So, I traveled in college to 5 of the 7 continents, and then after I graduated from Yale in 2015, I was doing a fellowship in South America, and on a sunny February day in 2016, I was whitewater rafting, and a boulder came crashing down off the side of the mountain, and I went from this happy-go-lucky girl to someone fighting for her life in the ICU. And I explain it in 3 phases. I say, afterwards, I had the pain of day-to-day post-injury. And then I did the pause where I was like, I will achieve all these goals and dreams once I get better. And then I won Miss Wheels of Florida, and so I realized I'm in the purpose phase now, and there might be a purpose to my accident.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you probably went through a lot of, recovery and rehabilitation to kind of get to where you're at now. I think we've got a picture here. This is some of the team that you've worked with a little bit after your injury and recovery. Like, what was it like kind of coming back from that, where, fighting for your life, and now you're really thriving in this new part of your life?
Well, I had to go work a lot from I couldn't sit up on my own to now I can walk outside of the walker with help. I have a special needs trust and angel donors that help me go to this clinic once a month that specializes in traumatic brain injuries. So I've had to work a ton just to do basic things. But like last week, my mom and I published this children's book to show that that role models cannot be in a wheelchair, but also can have silent disabilities. So it has been a hard journey, but it's been worthwhile.
That's so great. And so we'll have to make sure we can get a link in this interview so people can check out that book. We'll show some pictures about it as well. But really, congratulations on that. Hopefully you can help, reach out to some more kids in who have maybe similar or different journeys, but that you can kind of help with them. So, and from that recovery as well too, there are a couple of kind of fun little facts about you. So you've did a 5K recently, a couple of years ago, I believe. And also you can hold a plank pose for a really long time.
Well, the plank thing, I don't really have a record because we just do it for therapy. So we just do it for 1 to 2 minutes. So it's timed. And I just found out because we're doing something else. And then they were like, come on, you can do a plank. And then I could. So then we added that to my repertoire. And funnily enough, the 5K, it's been a big goal of mine to do the Disney 5K. So we did some practice runs before. And my dance teachers always pushed me, which is so nice because they volunteered their time to push me and stuff. And so, funny story about the Disney race is that when we finally got to do it, it was a cold snap that morning. So it was freezing.
Oh, man.
So it actually wasn't too fun. But afterwards, when I cross the finish line, I feel like a huge sense of accomplishment
Yeah.
because it's this goal I wanted to achieve forever.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. And so we're talking to try to promote the upcoming Ms. Wheelchair America competition. You are representing the state of Florida. And so it's
Correct.
going to be you and a lot of other ladies who are coming together to really compete for this competition. What are you really proud of that you're going to bring to this competition to share with the other ladies when we have this August 18th to the 24th?
Well, I'm the only one with what I call a silent disability, which is like cognitive and visual or verbal, because the rest have just physical. So it'll showcase the importance of that, and then also I'm a very positive person, so I bring joy and happiness to a situation that could be deemed as dire.
I mean, look at the smile. I mean, you've always, every single one of your pictures, you've got just the biggest smile. So having that joy, it does come across, and even in these conversations.
Thank you.
So, what has like really surprised you about this, and what are you really looking forward to in that week of the competition coming up?
So the other contestants have a text chain, and everyone, you would think as a competition, people would be cutthroat, but they have been super nice and super helpful and willing to share. So way more than I expected. So everyone has been, I'm excited to meet everyone because they already seem so impressive.
Yeah.
And obviously, if they're state title holders, they have something to teach me. So
Yeah.
And hopefully together we can create something more than individual.
That's great. And as we wrap up this interview, Schuyler, Ms. Wheelchair Florida from Tampa, what kind of message do you want to put out there for people, whether they are living with a disability or maybe they're navigating, recovering from an injury? What kind of advice do you want to give to them as we wrap this up?
I have 3 things that to think of if you're injured. One, like the way I was described it well in the hospital is like if a bomb went off in your city and you had to figure out different ways to get there, you'd still get there. It would just be a different route. So although it may look different, you can still do it if you put your mind to it and figure it out. And second is the silent disability, showing that disability goes beyond just the physical. And the third is my favorite quote from my grandma, that in by inches sense, but yard by yard is hard. And that shows that progress, even if it's super small, is still progress.
Yeah. I love that. Progress, even if it's super small, is still progress.
Correct.
That is great. So, Schuyler, we really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. We're excited about talking with other part of the other different contestants that are competing in the Ms. Wheelchair America competition. That is happening in Grand Rapids, Michigan, August 18th to 24. You'll be able to catch the speech night on Friday. It will be live streamed here on Mary Freebed's Facebook page, and then the crowning ceremony on Saturday to catch that as well too, to see who will be the winner. Schuyler, so we're so excited to talk with you. We wish you the best in the competition.
Thank
you for taking the time to talk with us. And we are back with another great conversation talking about Ms. Wheelchair America, happening August 18th to 24th in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We from Mary Freebed are so proud to be presenting sponsor of Ms. Wheelchair America, getting a chance to learn about these wonderful ladies across the nation who are talking and sharing their stories. And I am so thrilled to have Alice from Oregon. She is Ms. Wheelchair Oregon 2025. So tell me, to set the stage too, like, I see you're in this really cool place. Tell me what that is and why this space is so passionate for you.
Well, I am a professional actor. I've been acting since I was 5 years old. I'm 38 now. Film is pretty much my first love. This is my film study. I grew up in the 90s, so I love VHS. And yeah, basically study film and television all the time. I'm never not watching something and trying to make my way in Hollywood.
That is
This
awesome.
is my passion, one of my passions for sure.
And so you are representing Oregon. Tell me a little bit more about yourself and where in the state you're from.
So I am actually new to Oregon.
Okay.
I've been here the last 2 years, and I live in Grants Pass. That name might sound familiar because we made national news on the homelessness situation. So yeah, it's not a great situation that we're currently in, especially in particular for people on the street with disabilities. And that's kind of how I got involved with my platform, to help out with the little guy, because that's what I believe in. I was a little guy. When I was born, I was 2.5 pounds, and my dad's wedding ring could fit around my wrist. And, my parents said, hey, we can work with that. And ever since then, I've been about the little guy. I really feel that, the first will become the last, and the last will become the first. That's my goal.
Alice, that's so great, and it's just so wonderful to learn and to be inspired and encouraged and by the contestants in this competition. And it's just there's this. Every contestant always says they come with a platform, something they're really passionate about. But once they get connected at the competition with all the other ladies, they take on their platforms, and they all have similar missions, and they're changing and sharing ideas and bringing things from other states to their state to try to help. So that is so great for you to be passionate about that and to bring your perspective to others and help with that. So yeah, and so you're jumping right into some of my questions, but also can you just share a little bit more too about why you use a wheelchair, and for some of our able-bodied viewers to kind of help educate them would be great.
Sure. Well, like I said, I was born 3 months early, and I was 2.5 pounds, and my dad's wedding ring could fit around my wrist. I was born with cerebral palsy, so that means I can't walk on my own. I grew up using a walker, and I didn't start using a wheelchair until I was about 17 full time. Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
Yeah. So, in what kind of made you, you decide to go from, you're passionate about helping people who are a little more vulnerable to now trying to be a part of this competition and winning the title of Ms. Oregon and now going to the national competition? What kind of made you make that jump in your life?
Oh man, I feel like my entire life got upended, to be honest with you. And it was very stressful and very hard, but I feel like there's a reason it got upended, so I could be a safe space for our most vulnerable communities, because it's such a scary time for people with disabilities, and I want to be able to be a compassionate leader, and I want to be able to utilize everybody else's talents too, because being Miss Wheelchair America means that I would have to represent 52 million Americans. That's a big job. That's something that no one can do alone. So I'm really hoping that, if I do get this reign, that I'm able to really make sure that we have advocates in every state, because I think it's really needed and we deserve it.
Yeah. Diving in a little more into your story, what have been some challenges that you've faced, having have cerebral palsy, and how have you worked on overcoming some of them?
Well, I was basically the first round of the ADA.
Mm,
So I think I was 4 or 5 when it passed. So I was like the first generation of kids
mm,
to experience mainstream schooling. Like, I was the first kid with a physical disability to go through mainstream schooling,
mm.
and it was rough. It wasn't rough because of my peers. My peers were always great and they always
That's good.
protected me, which is fabulous. But a lot of teachers were very hesitant and felt that my mom should be there with me full time. And yeah, it was very hard. There was a lot of opposition, but I kept going because this is my life. What else am I?
Yeah,
I can't. My parents basically told me to never take no for an answer, and
that's good.
you know, and inclusion is it. That's You have to keep going no matter what. No matter what opposition tells you, because it's the right thing to do. Inclusion is the right thing.
Hmm.
We're
And
here to
so,
make the world a better place.
yeah. And your perspective and experience has probably helped fuel that for helping others. And so, taking your use of a wheelchair and in those hurdles that you're working through and still working through today, and now you're bringing that to others. You've talked about like people who are unhoused. How does it help fuel you to help others?
Well, I mean, I know what it's like to be ignored. I also it, I know what it's like to start with absolutely nothing, especially when it comes to like disability awareness, especially in Hollywood or just in general. Um, I didn't grow up with all the privileges
Mm,
at all. I kind of started from the bottom. So I think that a true leader understands what it means to start from the very bottom, and what it also means to get to the top, but knowing that that's fleeting. You know what I mean? You got to just keep going. I think we deserve more on the
mhm.
whole
Yeah.
than what we're getting currently. And I believe that we deserve more because we deserve it. Again, we absolutely deserve it.
Now, I want to try to pivot a little bit from your passion and your mission to a little bit more too about you and your film career. Um, so I believe you kind of got a cool scholarship when you were younger. Is that kind of what helped start all this, or tell me a little bit
You're
about
talking
that
about
story?
my favorite story.
Yes.
So yeah, no, I have a connection to John Ritter. And when I was 16, I was given a scholarship in his name, like I want to say 2 or 3 months after he died. And I ended up using that scholarship to get braces, and so now I have that famous Ritter Miss Wheelchair America smile. Yeah, and actually on Monday, I'm finally getting a chance to meet John Ritter's widow.
Mm,
Amy Yazbak. So I'm hoping to do some work with her on, because she has the John Ritter Foundation, which focuses on aortic dissection and misdiagnosis and medical inequity, and that is something that as a disability community, that's something that affects us a lot.
so we're
Patients
Go ahead.
patients are very often not believed,
Mm,
and
yeah. Wow. So, I mean, this has been a great conversation. I love how we're kind of jumping around and covering so many things about you. So, what has been your favorite part of being the title holder for your state? And what are you also looking forward to as we make our way to the national competition later this month?
like you said, the crown and sash is just special. One of the things that I do is I work with the food bank here in Oregon, and every time I work there, I wear my crown and sash. And these are people asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
People in dire need, and you could see sometimes that they're a little worn, but once they look at the crown and sash, it's like, oh my gosh, my favorite person's here. So I'm really, I really feel like Mickey Mouse whenever I wear the crown and sash. And and I've been on TV shows and I've been in movies.
Mm-hmm.
I and I've never quite felt that happiness before from others.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been really, really special.
Mm-hmm. And then what about the national competition? So that's coming up. You're going to meet the other women who are competing. You guys have been connecting via, like a group message and, Zoom calls. But what are you most looking forward to about nationals?
Oh, meeting all the girls, because it's like the ultimate winner circle.
Mm-hmm.
We're all passionate about our platforms. We're all passionate about our advocacy. It's just when I get there, everybody's on the same playing field.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the cream of the crop, and that's exciting to me. I just can't wait to hear everybody's speeches and have a great time with them, and learn.
That's awesome. And so, Alice, we are again talking about Ms. Wheelchair America, the national competition happening August 18th to 24 in Grand Rapids. We've had the pleasure of talking to Alice. She is the Ms. Wheelchair Oregon 2025. I will mean to ask this too, for people who want to see something that you've been in. What would be two questions? What is a movie or a film that's easy for someone to go find that you were in, that they could see you on the big screen, whether TV or movies? And then what is one of your favorite kind of like all-time movies?
Okay. Well, I was in 911, so I played a dispatcher that saved the main character from choking to death on a croissant.
Oh, wow.
So I performed an emergency tracheotomy over the phone, and that was in the first season of 911, episode 6, season 1.
Okay.
So, yeah, you could, and also, if you rent Strange World, you could see Disney's Strange World. You can see a character that kind of looks like me and uses a wheelchair, and I'm in Strange World as well.
Nice. And then what's a recent movie that you saw that you really enjoyed that you recommend other people to watch?
Oh man, let's see, a recent movie,
Or even go back to like the 90s. The 90s are like one of your favorite, underrated.
I think for me, when I was a kid, I really, really thought that Roger Rabbit was a movie star, and that he really existed, and he lived to make the world laugh, and that, yeah, it's definitely Who Framed Roger Rabbit is pretty much the most genius film ever made, and not just for the sake that Roger's just this great loving guy. It's like kind of all hands on deck. You're dealing with animation, you're dealing with puppetry, and puppetry is another one of my favorites that I've recently gotten into. So
that's awesome. Well, Alice, it was so great chatting with you. Wishing you the best in the national competition of Ms. Wheelchair America, presented by the Mary Free Bed Guild, happening August 18 to 24 in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can follow along with the contestants at Speech Night. That will be on the Friday of that week, where all the contestants will get on the stage and share their platform. Then followed on Saturday will be the crowning gala. You'll be able to watch all those live streamed on our Facebook and YouTube pages, up on social media in the Mary Free Bed. Ms. Wheelchair America will also be sharing those too. So thank you, Alice, so much for watching, for participating in this conversation, and thank you all for watching.
Thank you. It was a blast.